news and everything that matters to you. And then in today's video, we're going to talk about, is the middle class shrinking in America, guys? As you guys all know, everything's been going up across the board. That definitely affects people's finances. So let's go ahead and get started and hop in this first article that I have for you guys. So the first article I have for you guys pulled up is actually going to be, it's from Pew Research, and it is titled How the American Middle Class Has Changed in the Past 5 Decades. So in this article, it talks about, let's go ahead and read. The middle class, once the economic stratum of the clear majority of American adults, has steadily contracted in the past 5 decades. The share of adults who live in the middle class households fell from 61% in 1971 to 50% in 2021, according to a new Pew Research Center analysis of government data. Guys, this is crazy because, let me read that again for you guys so you guys can soak that in, this part right here. The middle class households fell from 61% in 1971 to 50% in 2021. Guys, that is an absurd number. Pretty much like people are getting poorer in America, guys. I mean, it's crazy. Since the 70s, the middle class has been shrinking in America. And so the article goes on, and it pretty much goes on to say this right here. The shrinking of the middle class has been accompanied by an increase in the share of adults in the upper income tier from 14% in 1971 to 21% in 2021, as well as an increase in the share who are in the lower income tier from 25% to 29%. These changes have occurred gradually as the share of adults in the middle class decreased in each decade from 1971 to 2011, but then held steady through 2021. And you look at the graph to the right, guys, you'll see that it says that share of adults in the U.S. middle class has decreased considerably since 1971. We all know that's a fact. And if you look from 1971 to 2021, lower income went from 25% to 29%. And then you'll see the middle class from 1971 to 2021 went from 61% middle class down to 50% middle class going into 2021. And the only bracket that actually increased, guys, in this will be your upper class. So in 1971, the upper class represented 14% of Americans. And in 2021, the upper class now represents 21% of Americans. So that grew. The upper class has gotten bigger, whereas the middle class and the lower class has actually shrank. So it's pretty astounding to see. So let's pan over to a video I have pulled up for you guys. So this is Grant Cardone talking. So let's see what he has to say.
The number of older people that show up to my door with DoorDash and Postmates is
10,000 baby boomers. 10,000 baby boomers are retiring every day right now. That's not in the jobs number. 11 million immigrants, not in the job numbers, okay?
Yep.
We just had a tick up. We've had 11 revisions out of 12 months of job numbers. In 12 months, the government comes out and says, look at our job numbers. There's 450,000, 500,000. The truth is those job numbers, actually 11 out of 12 got revised downward, meaning the American public was lied to, and 40% of those jobs are government jobs, not public jobs.
Wow.
You and I are paying for those jobs.
Wow. So like what he's saying is that the unemployment is actually, everything is being manipulated. So the government looks like it's doing a good job, right? The truth of the matter is, guys, is technology progresses as automation progresses, guys, and with AI, you're going to start seeing a lot of jobs be obsolete, and the workforce is going to become even more competitive. So the middle class is definitely shrinking, and it's not their fault. It's just the economy is changing, and jobs are being either shipped overseas or due to AI or because of, just automation replacing their job. So it's unfortunate, but it's what's happening right now in 2024, and will continue to happen going into 2030, guys. I promise you that. I posted another video about that if you want to check it out. So I actually have another article here. It's another video, and I wanted to show you guys this. Let's see. Here we go. Restart it.
I think you're going to see the middle class, based on what's happening, going away.
It's already being reduced.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's unfortunate. And I think crypto is that life raft, that lifeline that basically says, okay, you can still have the American dream. You can still have freedom. You can still shoot for the stars. You can still do those things. But I think a lot of people who are, especially younger, because they have so much debt piled on top of them, right? They don't feel like they can get out.
Somebody at Microsoft taking applications for something, they said that most people that they were locating were hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. I think you're just...
Wow, guys. Most of the people that are in the middle class are in hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. That's crazy. The average American is in debt. We live in a debt-based society at the end of the day. That's just the world we live in, It's, call it the Matrix or call it whatever you want to call it, but at the end of the day, people are trying to escape, but the middle class is definitely shrinking in America, and it's because of all these economic factors that are against the middle class in general, guys. You have inflation, which is essentially eroding your wealth away. It's destroying any savings that you may have. If you're in the middle class, low class, or even the upper class, if you have savings, liquid cash, it's being eroded away by inflation. Just remember that, okay? And in comparison to that, guys, you also have to consider that the automation is taking your jobs away. You also have to consider that with trade wars, and you also have to consider essentially automation and AI is going to continue to grow. So when he said that he thinks that crypto is the best way that you're going to be able to survive, honestly, he may be right. Crypto may be the best plan for the middle class going forward, guys. It's crazy to think about, really, at the end of the day. And then I had this article right here. This is from Bankrate's 2024 Annual Emergency Savings Report, Bankrate.com, and they essentially start to talk about many Americans have long struggled to build emergency savings. However, high inflation and interest rates since, have continued to make it difficult for people to feel comfortable with their level of savings. Nearly 6 in 10, or 59% of U.S. adults, are uncomfortable with their level of emergency savings, according to a new Bankrate poll. Before 2022, the percentage had been rising from 37% in 2018 to 44% in 2020, 48% in 2021, and 58% in 2022. This year, it's barely budged from 57% in 2023. Guys, this is crazy. This data comes from Bankrate's yearly emergency savings report, an exclusive survey done by Bankrate and polling partners SSRS since 2014. The survey has annually polled 1,000 plus U.S. adults from their level of debt and emergency savings, and the most recent data polled in May of 2024 also examines how much savings people would need to feel comfortable, and if they had that much saved. And it goes on to say up here, it says, look, I read it earlier, nearly 6 in 10, which is 59%, U.S. adults are uncomfortable with their level of emergency savings, according to a new bank rate poll. Guys, because people's savings are being eroded away because of inflation. The cost of living crisis is a real thing. I'm telling you guys that. It is a real thing. It's going to continue to get worse in America and in Europe, across the world. The more AI continues to grow, the more you have automation continue to grow. I mean, we're not far from most jobs being replaced. I think the only jobs that aren't going to be able to be replaced are going to be like your trade jobs, your HVAC, your plumbing, electrical, and being a doctor. I mean, really, there's a lot of jobs that are going to be completely wiped out over the next 5 to 10 years. That's a fact. And you think, that in correlation with people's savings going completely down. I mean, most Americans, 6 out of 10, hardly even have a savings, guys. I mean, really, at the end of the day, I mean, I read an article. What was it? This is 6 out of 10 adults, okay? Which is about 60% of people don't have a savings right now, guys, in 2024. So this is scary news to hear, to be honest with you. So I want to hear what you guys think. Where do you guys think we're going as a nation? Where do you think, if people don't have a savings and you're an adult and they're going into retirement years, how are people going to even survive? That's what you have to realize, is that people aren't going to be able to survive, guys, anymore. I mean, it's going to get to a point where you're going to have to do 2, 3, 4 jobs just to survive now at the end of the day, guys. And that's what you have to realize, is that in this economy that we live in now, people are they're struggling more than ever. I mean, high-paying jobs. I saw an article in Austin. High-paying jobs are being people are being laid off from tech. So you have a decline in high-paying jobs. You have a decline overall in savings accounts. You have inflation going rampant still. Now the Fed is dropping rates. So really, at the end of the day, like, people, I mean, what are people going to do? And then you have robots being unveiled by Tesla a few days ago. I mean, you've got massive inflation that's still looming. Stagflation, you want to call it. People just don't have the money nor the means. And so people have to do really whatever they have to do to survive. So I want to hear what you guys have to say, honestly. I mean, people are struggling right now. And, it's going to continue to get worse. And I think over the next 5, 10 years with automation, with AI, people are going to be struggling more than ever. The job market's going to become continuously more competitive. As automation and AI continues to grow in America, you're going to have people struggling just to make ends meet. So you're really going to see a major divide in society, I think. Middle class will be eroded away. Over the next 10 years, maybe 15, the middle class will be unrecognizable. That's my prediction. And so you best really start planning out how you're going to prepare for that. Whether it's, starting a second, third, fourth income stream, moving abroad, buying rental properties, somehow to maintain your wealth and maintain your freedom, guys, because things are going to get worse. So I want to know what you guys have to say in the comments below. Like, follow, share if you haven't already, guys. I appreciate it very much, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one, okay? Peace out.